what's up everybody, Haskins here. Got another awesome build tutorial for you today. We're going to be building a vehicle that gets around the dry valley like no other. This thing floats around, cruises very nice. Now it's also great for crossing things like rivers, and trust me, this thing looks absolutely awesome. I love the way that this thing turned out, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Be sure to check out my other build tutorial. I'm going to link that in the description where I built a flying ship the other day. You're definitely going to want to check this one out as well. So in order to unlock the pieces you need for this particular build, you're going to have to unlock the Latverian Monarch decor bundle. Now this can be done by having both the battle pass unlocked as well as completing 8 of the 12 Doom quests that are available under your quest tab. Now these are battle royale quests, so you will have to either play zero build or battle royale in order to complete these. Anyways, that's enough of me yapping. Let's get right into the build. All right, and first things first, here is a list of the materials you're going to need to build this ship. So go ahead and feel free to pause this here and make sure you have these materials before we get in. All right, so for the first step in our build, we're going to go into the toys menu over to vehicle parts, and we're going to grab a small car jack and place one down. And then the exact same menu, we're going to find our vehicle base 3 here. We're going to place one and snap it right in on the top. We're going to put one on the front. Then we're going to also stack another one, or actually 2 on the front in the opposite direction. And then we're going to snap one on the back. Now from here, we're going to snap one off to the left and another one on the right hand side. And then for the front, we're just going to snap one into the most front piece here off to the left, just like that. Now it's time to set up for some directional building, and we're going to use our pressure plates. Now these are located in the toys control menu, and we're going to go ahead and snap one here on the corner. We're going to nudge it over 2 spaces like that. And then towards the back here, we're just going to place one right on the outside. We're not going to nudge this one over at all. We're just going to aim here, hit snap mode right in that corner, and place them down on both sides like that. And then towards the back here, we're going to go ahead and just snap in and nudge over 1, 2, 3 spaces, just like that. Now that we're good and set up, we're going to add some of these pieces to the vehicle. And the way we're going to do this is just go to our build menu. We're going to hit our filter button, and we're going to get the Latverian Monarch decor bundle here. And we're going to filter that on. And then from there, we're going to go into the decorations menu, but we're going to start with sculptures. And we're going to use this Doom tank. And the way we're going to get this on is we're actually going to aim at our pressure plate here in the corner. We're going to rotate that green piece on the bottom. It's like a little keyboard with a green light. We're going to rotate that upward, and then we're going to just nudge this thing over until it turns green. And then we're going to nudge it up until the bottom of this piece is actually flush with the bottom of our frame there. And if you want to make sure this has to be good in center for balance, that center bar up our frame should be good and lined up with the center part of this piece here. Our next parts are actually going to be located in furniture, so we're going to toggle over here, and this is going to be under seating, where we're going to find this Doom throne. The way we're going to get this thing in is we're going to aim at the corner of our pressure plate, just like that. And now we want to make sure that the black part that's kind of touching the frame is good in the middle there. We're going to nudge it over until we're pretty much up against the vehicle. The way you can tell now, if you nudge one over, it kind of makes the seat disappear into it. We're going to nudge back, and then we're going to nudge up one. Then we're going to come around onto the other side and do the exact same thing here, again aiming at our pressure plate. We're going to nudge on over until we're inside the frame, nudge back, and then just nudge up one. Now sometimes you'll find out that these aren't actually like touching the frame itself, so you're just going to want to take a little bit of time to make sure that you get this part right. Now again, we're just going to get it here, nudge it up one, and place it down. Now this is a good check your work part, and I just want to make sure that both of those chairs are hugging right up against the center of that frame, just like you're seeing right now. Our next piece is going to be located back in the decorations. This time we're going to move over to the electronics. We're going to find this Doom console here. Now for this placement here, same thing we've been doing. We're just going to aim at the corner of our pressure plate, just like this time on the inside. We're just going to flip this to where the green part on the keyboard is facing upward. We're going to nudge it over until we have this thing green, and we're going to nudge it up until we're flush with the bottom of the part. And now what you're going to notice here is you just want to make sure this little gold part on the underneath is lined up with the center of your frame, just like that. Most of the hard work is out of the way. It should be smooth sailing from here. Now we're going to go ahead and knock off these little extra pieces that we use for directional builds. Those aren't going to be needed for this build. So let's go ahead and get rid of those, just like that. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to add a few more of the vehicle base 3. So if you have your filter on, we're going to want to clear the filter and make our way on over to toys. Now again, these are located under vehicle parts, and we're going to grab this vehicle base 3. We're going to place one right here. We're going to go ahead and place another one right here on the opposite side. Next, we're going to go into toys, and we're going to grab thrusters. Now these are under controls. We're using the small thrusters. We're going to place them right on the inside of that frame right here, like that. We're going to do another one here on the inside. And then we're gonna put 2 more here on the outside, right like that. Next, just go into your stairs section here. We're gonna place this down. That's gonna allow us to head up on top of our vehicle where we're gonna need to be next. And then from here, we're gonna go to toys. Now, in this point, we're gonna put on our driver's seat. So these are gonna be in controls. You can use any one of these. I just always default to using the large driver's seat. We're gonna put it up the center here. We're gonna nudge it back until it turns red here and hits that back like Doom thing. And we're gonna just nudge it forward 1 and place it down. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over into our building parts, and we're gonna filter back onto the Latverian Monarch decor, because this time we're going to use another Doom piece. This is gonna be under surfaces, and it's called the Doom coffee table. Now this is gonna be placed right up against the front there, so just have it where it's red and then nudge it back 1 and it's gonna turn green, and then we're gonna put 1 more right behind that one. Now this next part is completely optional, but if you want to, let's go ahead and toggle back off of our filter, and we're gonna go this time into the storage section. Now you can add a medium chest here. It matches very well with all the decor. I personally don't really like the way it looks. And if you want to add this storage, just go ahead and feel free to add this on the second coffee table there, because we have to put some balloons towards the front. Now for this part, you can feel free to cover up these studs that you have on those vehicle bases there with some floor pieces. Now the ones I personally think look the best, but it will require you to have the Durburger set, is going to be these dine-in floors. Now these are going to be the 6x2x1, and we're just going to nudge it in until we cover that up. You can also use a couple of different pieces, like some of the free-to-play parts. You can use some of the wood ones, the concrete ones. There's also a few different options down here that would work very well, like some of these wood floors. Just anything with that dimension, you can cover those up, or you can just leave them completely open. And then the last thing we're gonna do up top here is we're actually gonna go over back to our Latverian Monarch decor bundle. And this time, same place we were with our coffee table, we're gonna grab this Doom Anvil nightstand, and we're just gonna place one right in the middle, just like this. I know I just said that was the last stuff that we're gonna have to build up top, but I lied, so I apologize. We need to actually put some activated balloons on here. And the placement for these is we're gonna find this back corner of the vehicle base 3 that we have there. We're just gonna nudge it forward 1 right here, and then we're gonna just nudge this one over onto the opposite end. And then for the placement on the front of the vehicle, we're gonna have to move these as far forward as we can. So once it turns red, we're just gonna nudge it back 1 like that, and we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now for these, they don't really matter where they're at, but if you want them to line up perfectly with the ones in the back, you're just gonna have a small little space between this green stripe and the balloon, where you have a little bit of the black on that table between them. Next, let's hop on down and get our wheels on. We're gonna go into controls under the toys menu and grab these large steerable wheels. Now the placement for these is we're gonna aim towards the outside here and hit stat mode, and this is towards the front of the vehicle here. Now just check to make sure that your wheel isn't hanging off on the bottom or off towards the front. You want that little square piece to be good and flush with the bottom and the front end of your base. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, another large steerable wheel, and we're just gonna place one here. Now before you proceed, just make sure, get a good angle on this and make sure that they're lined up with each other perfectly, otherwise it's gonna create problems. And we're gonna make our way around towards the back here. This time we're actually gonna do something a bit different. We're gonna grab some medium powered wheels, and these are not gonna be the steerable ones, it's the powered. So just make sure you have the right ones, because there are 2 categories. And the placement for these is we're actually gonna snap it in, we're gonna nudge it down and back 1. Now, the reason we had to nudge this down is so that the alignment of the bottom of the tires you can see there are gonna meet up on the ground perfectly. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now from here, we're gonna go back to the toys control menu, and we're gonna grab small thrusters. Now you might be wondering, well, why are we placing these on? We already put thrusters on. Well, if we put these on before our wheels, it would not allow us to put on our wheels. So we're gonna place one right behind that front wheel there, and also another one on the other side. And for this next part, we wanna make sure we have a wrench. If you don't have one, you can craft this at your crafting bench. I don't remember the materials, but it's very cheap to make. And first things first, we're gonna go ahead and tune this one to channel 1 and turn off channel 3. And then the other side here, we're gonna tune this onto channel 2 and turn off channel 3. And then lastly, what you'll notice is you'll have, check the tires, you'll have these rotating forward, but then you'll have these ones rotating backwards. We're gonna hit the button above the wheel there that says change direction. So we're gonna change our direction here, and we're also gonna change the direction on this back one here. All right, now we're ready to take this thing down and take it for a spin. Channel 3 is gonna give us a forward boost and increase our speed slightly. Now, because this thing has medium wheels on it, it is a little bit more sluggish than some of the vehicles, but it still travels pretty quickly. As you can see here, we're moving up through the grasslands very easily. This is going to also help with climbing hills a little bit faster. Now the turning thrusters, I don't really believe do too much on the ground, but let me demonstrate why we have balloons on here. It's really just a matter of getting around. It's not necessarily meant to be a flying vehicle, but you can see here, you could pop off of that hill there, have your thrusters engaged, and then once you make it way to the other side, go ahead and deactivate the balloons, and then just continue cruising around. Now the other thing that this can do too for you is if you end up getting in a weird situation where you get hung up on something, you could feel free to just go ahead and activate those balloons and they can lift you off something like a rock or something you might get caught on. Now another thing too, you'll notice I just rolled over. You can use the flip button to flip your vehicle back over, but if that's not working for you, another cool thing that this will do is if you activate your balloons, that will get you right side up and you can continue to drive around the map. If you enjoyed this build, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. It definitely helps me out. And also check out some of the other tutorials and content I have. This is a Lego Fortnite specific channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in again. This is Haskin signing off. I will catch you all in the next one.